The night before my wedding, Jack slept with my maid, Lucy. Afterward, he told me Lucy had dressed just like me that night, and he couldn't tell us apart. He said he was innocent. I laughed coldly and exposed his lie, then kicked Lucy out of the house. In the end, she wandered the streets and died after being abused by beggars. But that only brought on Jack's insane revenge. Every day, he tortured me with his words and actions, forcing me to kneel before Lucy's memorial tablet for 49 days. He made me kowtow 99,999 times to atone. In the end, I was tortured to death. When I opened my eyes again, I was reborn one day before my wedding to Jack. Before I could even recover from the shock, another maid rushed in, gasping for breath. "Miss, Lucy just went into the groom's room wearing your clothes. I can't believe she really had those thoughts." "You were right, miss. We have to stop her now or it'll be too late." I lifted the red wedding veil and didn't make a fuss. If she wants to go, let her. Worst case, I'll just give her the marriage. Don't you dare tell anyone about this. As the maid stood there in shock, I took off my wedding robe and changed into regular clothes. When my mother learned the truth, she was furious and wanted to punish Lucy immediately. I shook my head. "Mother, the old princess once said that if I never found a good husband, I could ask to serve her in shoe." The old princess was my mother's close friend. When she left the capital in her later years, she said those words to me. Mother saw that I wanted to leave the capital. Though reluctant after what had happened, she had no reason to stop me, so she agreed. The next day, I quietly left for Shu with Anna. My marriage to Jack was an alliance between two great families, one civil and one military. It had been arranged since we were born. Lucy was my personal maid. Like Anna, she had been named by my father and bought to serve me. I treated them like sisters. I never thought Lucy would be so heartless. On the day of my wedding to Jack, she made an excuse to leave, changed into a red bridal gown, and slipped into Jack's bedroom. Back then, I was still wondering why Jack never came to the bridal chamber. By the time I realized the truth, the two of them had already slept together. Jack showed no guilt at all. He wanted to make Lucy his lawful wife and put her on equal footing with me. I caused a scene at the general's residence and everyone heard about it. The gossip nearly drowned Lucy alive. Unable to face it, she hanged herself with a strip of white silk. Jack couldn't change the outcome. But after marrying me, he showed his violent side and tortured me in every way. Whips, paddles, a nail bed, branding irons, he used them all. After just 1 year, I was covered in new wounds over old ones, barely clinging to life. He moved Lucy's memorial tablet into the Jack family ancestral hall and forced me to kowtow, repent, and chant scriptures for her every day. With my last breath, I smashed Lucy's tablet. Seeing the shattered tablet, Jack was devastated. Then he tied me up with rope and burned me alive. The searing pain twisted my face beyond recognition. Jack, Lucy was nothing but a maid. But I fell in love with her when we were children. Because of you, we were torn apart. You deserve to suffer in life, and even in death, you should never rest. You should atone to her. So this time, I didn't want to make a scene. Since they had loved each other since childhood, I would let them be together. 5 years later, the emperor, old and gravely ill, had no sons. The children of the royal princes were all useless. With one last breath left in him, the emperor named his only sister's son as crown prince. So I followed the princess back to the capital for the investiture ceremony. At the banquet afterward, Jack saw me. A flicker of caution crossed his eyes. Lucy clearly didn't expect me to be there either. "Sister, where have you been these 5 years? I searched so hard for you. Back then, I wronged you. You can hit me or curse me. Lucy is willing to take the blame." I pulled my hand away in disgust and rolled my eyes. 5 years had passed, and she was still putting on the same fake act. "Lucy is now the lawful wife of me, General of Genuine. How dare you be so rude?" Jack stepped forward, warning in his eyes. The commotion between the three of us drew several nobles over. One woman walked up. "I don't recognize this lady. Which official's wife is she?" "She is no one's wife. She's Emma, the eldest daughter of the Grand Commandant's estate, who ran away from her wedding." Jack opened his mouth and pushed all the blame onto me. As soon as he said that, the woman looked disgusted. "So this is the legitimate daughter from the Grand Commandant's family? She ran from her wedding and vanished for years, shaming her family, and she still dares to come back?" I frowned slightly. Only then did I realize that in the 5 years I'd been away, this was the story they had spread. They had completely twisted the truth. I had heard storytellers in the capital were unmatched, making up stories on the spot. I never expected the nobles to lie even better than they did. I looked at the woman in front of me, then at the crowd behind her siding with Lucy. Anger burned in my chest. "I am the lawful wife of the censor-in-chief. How dare a little girl like you speak to me like that? The Grand Commandant's estate outranks us by 1 rank. How can you be so rude?" "Madam, please don't be angry. I'm sure sister didn't mean it. Sister's mistakes are all my fault. Please calm that eldest daughter temper and don't cause trouble. If you're willing, I can ask my husband to marry you again. You'd only be a concubine, but that's still better than having no husband at all. At least your clothes and jewelry would be the best." As she spoke, she grabbed my hand and showed everyone the old-looking jade bracelet with mockery written all over her face. I couldn't be bothered to argue. This bracelet was the token of love between my husband and me, passed down by the retired emperor. There was only one like it in the entire capital. She didn't know its worth and thought it was cheap. How ridiculous. "No thanks. There is no rule in this world that says a mistress should become a concubine to her maid." I calmly pulled my hand back. "Sister, just because I was a maid, did I deserve to die?" When Lucy heard what I said, her face darkened. She immediately clutched her chest and pretended to be hurt. Jack hated seeing Lucy upset, so he spoke up at once. "Even if your status is noble, I still don't want you. She knows gratitude and is kind and virtuous. You're corrupt, reckless, and don't act like a sister at all. Now that she's willing to give in, you still keep pushing. You really don't know when to stop. The people nearby started whispering too. The Grand Commandant's legitimate daughter is actually this spoiled and arrogant? No wonder she got kicked out of the family. That so-called pride of yours is only because you relied on being the Grand Commandant's legitimate daughter. You probably don't know this, but after you ran from the wedding, the Grand Commandant removed you from the family register and adopted Lucy as his legitimate daughter. Exactly. We didn't say it before because we were saving you some face. Did you really think you could keep throwing your weight around? Keep dreaming. You deserve this. Who would protect a daughter like you? If anything, the Grand Commandant knows right from wrong. Hearing those words, I froze. I'd been away for 5 years and had never received any news that my family had disowned me. Why were these people so sure? Did something happen? I immediately thought of my mother. She and my father had never had much affection between them. Could something have happened to her? Everyone? Sister doesn't know about these things. Saying it so suddenly must be hard for her. I understand, really. She was just spoiled growing up, so she's a little willful. She's not a bad person. Sister, back then you ran from the wedding. I had no choice but to marry the general in your place. Even if your life is hard now and you hate me, I understand. I only beg you not to cause any more trouble. Come home with me. I'll make sure the general treats you well. When Lucy was my personal maid, she always played the victim. She used her status as a maid to win pity and took so much of my affection. Now that she had taken my place and become the general's wife, she still hadn't changed. Watching her perform so hard felt like watching a circus act. Emma, since my wife has spoken, I can give you a place to stay, but you must kneel before Lucy, admit your mistake, and apologize. Only then will I agree. For a second, I thought I'd heard him wrong. He wanted me to kneel to the maid who once served me? Absolutely absurd. 5 years had passed, and Jack's arrogance hadn't changed at all. A place to stay? I'm not exactly short on that. Sister, you've fallen this far. If you weren't desperate, why would you sneak into this banquet just to run into us? You don't even want a place to stay. Are you trying to make the general divorce me and marry you instead? Her words were completely made up. Lucy, how could I ever divorce you? Jack became agitated. You are the wife I chose. At any time, you are my one and only lawful wife. No one should dream of replacing you. Since she refuses to accept kindness, let's stop wasting time and take our seats. Today is the first time the Crown Prince is appearing with the Crown Princess. It's extremely important. As soon as those words were spoken, Lucy instantly became respectful. The nobles beside her nodded along. That's right. I heard the Crown Princess is arrogant, cold, and hard to get along with. But the Empire will belong to the Crown Prince one day, so we absolutely need to put effort into pleasing her. I raised an eyebrow. I was quiet, sure. But when had I ever been arrogant? Seeing that I still wouldn't leave, Jack pulled a silver ingot from his robe and threw it at my feet. Take the money and get lost. He looked afraid I would stay and ruin his plans. Disgusted, I stepped back, only to accidentally bump into a young palace maid passing behind me. It's over. It's all over. The little palace maid looked at the clothes and jewelry scattered across the ground and hurried to gather them up. But everything was still a mess, and there was no way to explain it. Tears instantly fell. She hated herself for not being more careful. Are you all right? Jack asked with concern. At court, the image he had built was that of a kind man who treated servants well and always helped others. General, these are the formal robes and phoenix crown the crown princess is supposed to wear at the banquet. I ruined them. I'm dead for sure. General, please, can you save my life? The young palace maid kept kowtowing. When I turned around, I saw it too. Those seemed to be my clothes and jewelry. But I had bumped into her, so she shouldn't have to take the blame. So I pulled her up. Stop crying, I don't blame you. Before the palace maid could react, Jack shoved me hard, almost knocking me off balance. You don't blame her? Who do you think you are? Do you still think you're that legitimate daughter from before? Was the silver I gave you not enough? Now you can't leave even if you want to. You damaged the crown princess's robes. Get ready to be torn apart by 5 horses. I lost the patience I had left. From the very beginning, they had been the ones provoking me and making malicious assumptions. Enough. Those clothes are for me. What's wrong with me not blaming her? Jack looked insanely arrogant. Even with death staring you in the face, you still dare run your mouth. I'll drag you before the crown prince right now and see if you still dare act wild. Jack flew into a rage and ordered his men to draw their swords, ready to kill me. Sharp blades came out, cold light flashing as they surrounded me. I am the crown princess. Who dares touch me? A deep coldness flashed in my eyes, but I stood perfectly still. After holding back again and again, my patience had reached its limit. For the past 5 years, I had trained day and night with the crown prince. Surviving through blades and shadows had given me a dangerous edge. Even Jack's men didn't dare step forward easily. Good. You all heard her, right? A commoner is running her mouth and pretending to be the crown princess. By law, she should be executed. Even if someone accidentally kills this woman today, it would be a great achievement. After saying that, Jack's face actually showed a hint of pleasure. When I saw his men raise their blades to their chests, I knew they had already decided to kill me. They closed in step by step. At first, I could barely hold them off, but I had no weapon, and my clothes made it hard to move. Soon, I lost. 2 swords pressed against my neck, pinning me in place. My body was already covered in wounds. Lucy stood nearby, looking smug, yet still pretending to pity me. My dear sister, if only you had listened to me earlier, how could you have ended up like this? Now I truly can't save you. In your next life, remember to fix that temper. Seeing me like this, the woman from before came forward without hesitation and slapped me twice, looking down on me. Did you really think you were someone important? Now you've committed a capital crime yourself, so you can't blame us. I glared hard at the censor-in-chief's wife, gritting my teeth. None of you are getting away today. Let me go and I can leave you with whole bodies. If you keep being stubborn, don't blame me for taking my time with you. But the evil in their hearts had already been lit. To please the crown princess they had never even met, they forced me to kneel, repent, and praise her virtue, all to show how loyal they were. When Jack pressed my head down and forced me to kowtow again and again, I remembered how he had forced me to atone in my previous life. My eyes turned blood red. Lucy was still pretending to care beside me. Sister, we're doing this for your own good. Maybe if we make you suffer more now, the crown princess won't be as angry later and will spare your miserable life. The mocking voices around me never stopped. Still so stubborn with death right in front of you. Looks like she hasn't suffered enough. A few cruel ones even brought over short knives. In an instant, the pain tore through me. Cold sweat poured down my body. I had once thought that if they left me alone in this life, I could let everything go. But now they insisted on dragging up the pain of my past life and tormenting me like this. Since that was the case, they couldn't blame me for being ruthless. Seeing me covered in wounds but still refusing to give in, Jack only hated that I hadn't suffered enough. He stomped me hard under his foot. Mud and weeds stuck to half my face, reeking terribly. He kept pressing down and my head almost sank into the dirt. Exactly. Sister, if you don't suffer now, you definitely won't survive when you see the crown prince. We're teaching you to behave. Lucy walked up beside me, casually pulled weeds from the ground, and stuffed them into my mouth along with the mud. I opened my mouth and tried to bite her hand. Terrified, Lucy quickly pulled her hand back and slapped me. I'll remember every one of you. If you don't kill me today, I'll kill you all. I clenched my jaw, hatred and fury burning together. All right, husband. Since sister refuses to appreciate our kindness, we can't save her. Let's report the truth to the crown prince. Jack stared wide-eyed, unable to believe it was real. Hearing what I said, he became even more confused. How did I know that after his rebirth he had formed factions and embezzled money? He had done those things in secret. Even Lucy only knew bits and pieces. Now that I'd said it all out loud, his heart jumped in panic. But Lucy only noticed that I was surrounded by men, each one handsome and impressive. Jealousy surged in her heart. She instinctively wanted to make a snide remark, but when she saw Tom's eyes, she swallowed it back. Empress, these officials are my responsibility. I failed to discipline them and you suffered for it. Punish them however you want. I just hope you won't stay angry. I sat on the phoenix seat beside the emperor, looking down at everyone kneeling on the floor. Their faces were full of disbelief. How is this possible? This is impossible. How could Anna be the empress? The mother of the nation holds a noble status. There can't be even the slightest mistake. Your Majesty, could there be some mistake? Wasn't she supposed to be just a friend of the empress? Jack had never seen this coming. You know the empress's identity can't have the slightest mistake, yet you still dare question it? General, are you now worrying about my choice of empress too? Have your days as an official been too comfortable? Do you want a trip to the border? With one sentence, Tom confirmed my identity. Then he kicked Jack in the shoulder. Jack fell to the floor, shaking his head over and over, unable to believe it. He had imagined many possible identities for me, and had perfect ways to respond to each one. But he never expected me to be the empress. To him, it was a fatal blow. Your Majesty, please calm down. But it is absolutely true that Anna was removed from the family registry. How could she become empress? Lucy wanted to say more, but she was afraid of angering me, so she could only stammer. It's fine. I spoke, stopping Tom, then walked down from my seat. I stood in front of Lucy. Sister, so what if I was removed from the family registry? What does that change? Does it stop me from being empress? I reached out and grabbed her chin, forcing her to look at me. Lucy trembled, her eyes full of panic and fear. She had never imagined I could be the empress. Sister, how did you become empress? Does that matter? What matters is that I was behind the screen just now, listening to you say that day was all about advising me, all for my own good. So tell me, what exactly did you do for my own good? Say it. I'd love to hear it. My voice was icy. My fingers tightened around Lucy's chin. The insignificant ones were so scared they kept begging, their cries filling the room. Even the censor-in-chief was sweating and kowtowing for mercy. Once they knew who I was, of course they had reason to be afraid. Though I was the legitimate daughter of a civil official, I had trained in martial arts since childhood. The Grand Princess valued me and made a secret agreement with me. If I didn't find the right husband, I would go help her son. So I went to Shu and trained hard with Tom. When the previous emperor was alive, he had few trusted people to rely on, so he basically entrusted everything to Tom. I followed Tom onto the battlefield, through blades and blood, and earned a reputation as a fierce female bandit. As for Jack, he only had the title of General of Genuine. In reality, he had lived in luxury for 5 years, and his martial skills were nothing now. If I hadn't wanted to avoid trouble, the day we met, Jack might already have died by my hand. I was wrong too. It was my fault. If you're really angry, don't take it out on them. Come at me instead. Jack knelt in front of me, his voice tense. No rush. You and Lucy are saved for later. Right now, I'll deal with the small fry first. I wasn't planning to pursue this, but they were far too arrogant that day. Naturally, I can't let them go. Pick your own way to die. I waved my hand, and eunuchs brought over 2 trays filled with tools and poisons, explaining each one by one. The people listened with their teeth chattering and begged for mercy. Please spare us! Haha. At the critical moment, several ministers requested entry from outside. Censor-in-chief requests an audience. Minister requests an audience. Governor requests an audience. These men were the husbands of the women kneeling inside. Good. Their arrival would save trouble later. The ministers all knelt and begged for mercy. saying they already knew what had happened and asking me to show leniency. I knew this was their usual pressure play and didn't feel like dealing with it. I glanced at Tom, and he immediately understood. The Empress may handle this however she wants as long as she's happy. Besides, the people from Shu are 10,000 times more capable than these parasites in court. I picked up smoothly, looking at the ministers kneeling below. Naturally, I don't want blood everywhere. I also hope you gentlemen can tell right from wrong, know who started this, and not protect the wrong person only to drag yourselves down. I toyed with a dagger between my fingers. Seeing all the ministers present, the censor-in-chief's wife suddenly found courage in her desperation. No, I can't do it. Anna, you are a monster, a venomous woman, a beauty who brings disaster. With an empress like you, what future does our country even have? You witch, if you act today, aren't you afraid history will condemn you? Aren't you afraid of losing the people's support? I let out a cold laugh, honestly impressed by her nerve. Before I could speak, the censor-in-chief slapped his own wife across the face. Shut up! His face was full of frustration. The truth was, they had humiliated the empress. If these people played it right, they might still keep their lives. But that one sentence ruined everything. I didn't bother watching any longer. I threw the dagger in my hand and the woman died on the spot. Everyone was stunned. What a shame. A perfectly good life, gone because of one reckless mouth. I sounded almost amused. Empress, how could you be so heartless? The censor-in-chief couldn't accept that his wife had died right in front of him. Holding her body, he sobbed. You really dared to kill someone. How can a noblewoman of the court lose her life because of your personal grudge? Jack also hadn't expected me to become this ruthless. He immediately seized the chance to play the hero and win people over. Right and wrong don't need future generations to judge. I know the truth myself. The censor's wife didn't originally deserve death, but insulting the empress at a time like this and shaking public confidence left her only one road: death. The rest of you should be grateful you controlled your mouths. Now take a knife and stab one hole in yourselves, then you may leave. If you can't do it, I can have someone help. I watched coldly as my people placed knives into their hands. Their eyes were full of fear, and tears streamed down uncontrollably. Some knew they were wrong and forced themselves to do it. Others still hoped to bluff their way through, only to be held down by guards and made to do it. For a moment, the room filled with the smell of blood and cries of pain. You should be thanking her. Our empress doesn't kill the innocent. Otherwise, after today's pressure campaign, taking your lives would still be justified. Lucy and Jack were so frightened they couldn't say a word. They clung tightly to each other, their pale faces exposing their terror. The remaining ministers knew there was nothing wrong with what I had done, no matter how they looked at it. Unable to speak, they could only kowtow and give thanks. The censor-in-chief was bitter, but he didn't dare defy us. He could only carry his wife's body home. I had everyone else leave. Only Jack and Lucy remained in the room. The small matters were handled. Now it was their turn. Sister, please let me go. I really know I was wrong. I shouldn't have seduced Jack. I don't love Jack at all. I only wanted to beat you. The truth is, I'm father's illegitimate daughter. But I had to be your maid just to be raised in the household. I truly hated it. I wasn't willing. I couldn't accept it. Seeing the bloody corpse and the blood sprayed across the floor, Lucy was scared out of her mind. She forgot all about pretending to be pitiful or weak. All she knew was to kneel at my feet and beg. Amy was born of the same mother as you. She was father's illegitimate daughter too. Back then, she followed me without hesitation, died on the battlefield, and stayed loyal to the end. But you did something like this and thought I'd go easy on you? Dream on. Guards, throw Lucy into the dungeon, use all 49 punishments on her, then grind her bones to ashes. I didn't hesitate at all. I wanted her to suffer immediately. During the 3 days I was recovering, I had investigated what happened at home. I learned that after I left, she bribed servants to put a slow poison in my mother's food. My mother wasted away day by day and was now barely hanging on by a thread. Lucy had brought her own mother into the household and completely replaced me and my mother. I wasn't unable to tolerate them. I just could never tolerate someone so vicious. Lucy was dragged away, screaming. Jack didn't dare beg at all. He truly hadn't expected me to kill the moment I said I would. Knowing his own ending would be no better, he decided to risk everything. He grabbed a knife and tried to stab me. Tom had been watching the whole time and stepped in to help. Together, we completely subdued Jack. He collapsed on the floor, coughing blood, without even the strength to stand. Empress, how do you want to deal with him? Looking at the barely breathing Jack, who was no longer a threat, I raised an eyebrow and crouched in front of him. Considering we were once engaged, I'll be a little nicer to you. Guards carried Jack back to his estate for treatment. Jack hadn't expected me to make that decision. After everything he did to you, how can you pity him? Where does that leave me? I smiled and added, however, Jack's estate no longer needs servants. Put a dog chain on him and let him guard his own house. Feed him dog food every day. Only then did Tom understand what I meant. He admired it. I really did know how to torture someone. With heavy guards posted, Jack couldn't run. The next day, I solemnly brought my mother into the palace and had her treated carefully. Her health improved a lot. Tom's mother had always been close with my mother. Now they could finally keep each other company.